Pre-algebra lesson 23, the U.S. customary system and unit multipliers. Now, the U.S. customary system is equivalents of length and weight. We have them listed here in our lesson. We know that 12 inches are equal to 1 foot. We know that 3 feet are equal to 1 yard, and that 5,280 feet are equal to 1 mile. We also know that 1,760 yards are equal to 1 mile. The other ones are the weight equivalents, which are 16 ounces is equal to 1 pound, and 2,000 pounds are equal to 1 English ton. Now, all of these measurements must be memorized. Luckily, they are all found in the very back of your textbook, right here. So, if you have not yet memorized this chart, that's something you need to do. All right, so maybe quiz yourself on 3x5 cards, but make sure you know all of these measurements and you have them memorized. If you do not have them memorized, a good thing to do is to check this while you're doing your homework, and through use you may memorize them. If that's not enough to help you memorize them, then you got to quiz yourself on 3x5 cards. Now, let's go back to our lesson. We're talking about unit multipliers. Now, unit multipliers are going to seem very easy at first, and you're not going to want to use them, but I promise you they will get more difficult, and if you don't do them the way that I teach you and the way that the book teaches you, you're going to have a much more difficult time later on in pre-algebra, and then in algebra 1, and then algebra 2, and then also in chemistry. So if you don't learn how to do unit multipliers in this specific way, you're going to have a difficult time later on in life when it comes to math. So let's go back to, here we are, unit multipliers. So what I mean by unit multipliers is when we have to do unit conversions. Like, for example, right here, example 23.1, they want us to use unit multipliers to convert 420 feet to yards. Now, some of you are thinking, I already know how to do that. I just divide feet by 3 because I know that there's 3 feet in 1 yard. So if I'm going from bigger to smaller, divide, and then, or small to big, then I divide, and I'll get my answer. That is true. I'm going to show you how to do it using unit multipliers, and then that will carry on into something later on in the book. So, using unit multipliers, how would I find 420 feet in yards? There are a couple of steps. Step 1 is to write down the unit you're starting with. 420 feet. I'm going to take that number and I'm going to put it over 1. So, first, take your number, write it as a fraction over 1. And you have to have the label of feet. If you just put 420, you're wrong. Now, step 2 is I'm going to multiply it by what we call a unit multiplier. A unit multiplier is a fraction in a set of parentheses. Now, the fraction is going to be 2 units that are equal to each other. In order to figure out what unit multiplier I use, I look at my starting number. If my starting number has feet, then to convert it, I know that this word feet will have to get canceled out, and it will be in the denominator. So the first rule is write your unit over the number 1 as a fraction. Second rule, whatever unit is on the numerator must transfer to the denominator. So whatever, if I start out with feet, then my denominator will be feet. Now, I have to think, what am I converting to? I'm going from feet to yards. So I will put yards on top. Now I can figure out what this fraction is going to look like. Remember that list of facts that I told you to memorize? Well, from that list, I should have memorized how many feet are in 1 yard. Well, the answer is 3. 3 feet in 1 yard. So when I multiply, what's going to happen is the word feet can cross cancel. When I multiply, I will then have 420 yards divided by 3. And then to get my final answer, I can reduce the fraction, or I can use a long division table if I need to. So I can do 420 divided by 3. I get 1. Bring down the 2. Goes in 4 times. Bring down the 0, and goes in 0 times. So 140. So my answer is 140 yards, and that is the final answer. Some of you may be thinking, Mr. Claiborne, why can't I just do this first? Well, like I said before, if you skip straight to this, you're going to have a tough time later. All right, we'll do one more problem just to review, and this last problem we'll do pretty quickly. So let's say I need to convert, let's see here. Let's say I need to convert 412 feet to inches. So step 1 is I take my unit and I put it over the number 1. Step 2, I'm going to write a unit multiplier and fill it out. The way I fill it out is I take this word which is on top and I put it on the bottom. So feet becomes feet. And then I ask myself, what am I converting to? Inches. So inches is now the word on the numerator. How many inches are in a foot? I should have memorized 12 inches are in 1 foot. From here, I will cross cancel the word feet. Then I know to get my final answer, I just multiply 412 by 12. So let's go ahead and multiply. 412 times 12. I get 428, placeholder 0, 2, 1, 4. Add 4, 4, 9, 4. 4,944 inches. And that is my final answer. So that's how you do unit multipliers. Those are your English conversion measures. If you have any questions, let me know on the school website, and I'll see you in the next video.